great-grandparents, Lisa and Heinrich Arnhold, were in love with Meissen porcelain and loved collecting it because it was a great source of pride. It was manufactured in the town next to theirs, Meissen, Germany. It was the first factory in Europe to essentially reinvent porcelain, which had only been created and manufactured in Japan and China. The King of Saxony, Augustus the Strong, worked with a chemist to invent porcelain. So this is a miracle collection. It was started in Dresden, Germany in 1920, pre-war, and by good fortune and determination and foresight, my great-grandmother Lisa got the collection out of Germany before it could be seized or destroyed by the Nazis, and it was moved to the United States. Then in the early 70s, 1970, my grandfather inherited the collection from his mother, and he began to expand the collection. So a lot of the pieces that we see in the gallery here were originally purchased by my great-grandmother Lisa, but then my grandfather started to acquire pieces that he found beautiful, that he felt would add to the collection. And over the last 30 to 40 years of his life, it really grew exponentially. The original collection had a lot of traditional serviceware and pieces that were in the Japanese palace that were owned by Augustus the Strong. And my grandfather, at the end of his life, started collecting figurines. And the figurines were not a part of the original collection. I don't know why. We don't know if Lisa wasn't interested in them, but for whatever reason, they were missing from the collection. And my grandfather found them to be magical and whimsical and playful. One of the last pieces that he acquired was a figurine. It's a fun, whimsical piece. It's a man in a blue cape with pretzels all over the back of the cape. And it's just, to me, an illustration of humor and of not taking yourself too seriously. So the other part of the collection that he expanded on was the original Japanese and Chinese porcelain that the Meissen was inspired from. So he went on this quest to find the original pieces and had a great deal of luck pairing the pieces from his collection of European porcelain with the original Japanese and Chinese pieces. I grew up with this collection in my grandfather's apartment, and it was lining the walls, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, in every room. And every time that I came to his apartment to visit him, the elevator doors opened. He was standing there to greet us with a big smile and with a mischievous look in his eye. And he loved to share his passion for the objects and for the history. And he also really loved to ask us what our favorite pieces were, why we liked a piece, and it was always a conversation.